What's going on, everybody? Josh Callaway here with Sooners Illustrated and 24/7 Sports in Atlanta, Georgia, and the 2025 SEC Media Days, the unofficial start of the college football season, just a couple of weeks away from the start of fall camp, and of course, a little over a month away from the start of the 2025 season. SEC Media Days this week in Atlanta. Oklahoma took their turn on Wednesday. Head coach Brent Venables joined alongside by a trio of Sooner players: quarterback John Mateer, defensive back Robert Spears-Jennings, and defensive end R. Mason Thomas. Some quick takeaways from me here from Atlanta. First up, obviously the injury front, a huge storyline of a year ago for Oklahoma. All those injuries, especially to the wide receiver room, that's a big storyline for the Sooners going into 2025. An update today from Brent Venables on one of the key members of that room this year in Giovanni Gibson. The Arkansas Pine Bluff transfer broke his leg back in spring camp. Brent Venables today said continues to trend positively and he remains, quote, right on schedule. Got the boot off recently. He's not 100%. He's not going full speed, but things still moving in the right direction for Giovanni Gibson. Certainly a guy that figures to be a big part of this offense if he can be on the field along with Deion Burks and that completely remade wide receiver room. Quarterback John Mateer talked today about the fact that they've still been working, not able to do it on the field, but doing a lot of off the field stuff, still forming that relationship. So a big update there for Sooners fans, certainly on Giovanni Gibson. Some other things from Brent Venables real quick. Jim Nagy, certainly that's been a major storyline over the summer as well, bringing him in, the new general manager of the football program. Brent Venables talked about that relationship, said he, quote, loves Jim Nagy, loves that he's getting his staff put together, said you're not going to probably see it just yet, which has, been a storyline on the recruiting side, but he imagines, Brent Venables, that they will reap the benefits and you will start to see that bear out over the next couple of recruiting cycles, the way that he termed it in his press conference today. So, again, kind of interesting. We were talking about that a lot going in. Colin Kennedy on the podcast. Brent Venables, that dynamic with Jim Nagy, and he talked a little bit about it today in his press conference. Also from Brent, another thing that stuck out to me, a lot of talk about young guys who can make an impact. Brent Venables had a laundry list of guys, but especially the youngsters on the offensive line. Of course, five-star offensive tackle Michael Fasusi. Everyone very excited about his potential. Brent Venables quick to bring him up. Of course, Ryan Foje, who came in with them. And then some year two guys that sound like they just keep trending positively. Daniel Akinkunmi and Eddie Pierre-Louis, the first name out of Brent Venables' mouth. Sounds like that's a bevy of young offensive line talent that could very well see the field for Oklahoma this upcoming season. In particular, Eddie Pierre-Louis, he continues to trend very, very positively as we get ready to go into fall camp. Defensively, some guys there too. Of course, David Stone, a big one that everyone's very excited to see. You have Cortland Guillory, that young cornerback, and that cornerback room that's got some vets at the top. Gentry Williams, of course, being among them, but a lot of youngsters. Malik Hawkins certainly in that group as well. Devon Jordan. But Cortland Guillory, a name that continues to come up from Brent Venables. He was quick to bring him up today, of course, and Danny Okoye, another one who's had a tremendous offseason and is someone that I think everyone's very excited to see him potentially pop. Marion Robinson, another one. I want to make sure you get him in there. That Brent Venables noted by name on Wednesday. As for the players, John Mateer, of course, certainly the headliner there, right? The quarterback continues to embrace expectations. He talked about that very candidly on Wednesday, the fact that John Mateer's entire career to this point, he's never had expectations. There's never been hype surrounding John Mateer throughout his entire life, going back to his high school days, going back to Washington State, but he certainly has that now. Any list of top 5, top 10 quarterbacks college football, he's on it, and he had a lot of hoopla around him today at SEC Media Days, but he talked about just shutting all that out, continuing to embrace it. His flourishing relationship with Brent Venables, talked about how he loves how much BV loves football, always wants to talk about ways to improve both Mateer's level play as well as the entire team. John Mateer, definitely someone who embracing the expectations, not worried about pressure, things like that. And he had a lot to say today at SEC Media Days. It's all there to be watched on the YouTube channel. You can hear from each of the three players, their interview sessions today here in Atlanta. You also can watch one of the Brent Venables press conferences. It'll be up on the YouTube channel as well. Full coverage over at Sooners Illustrated, Oklahoma at 24/7 Sports. Obviously, I've only just barely scratched the surface here. Just me, myself. We'll have the full podcast on Friday. Tom Green, James D. Jackson, myself, to break it all down, recap it all from Atlanta. We also heard from Jackson Arnold yesterday. Of course, former OC Jeff Lebby was here today. Former wide receiver Brennan Thompson was here today. So Oklahoma has been coming up a lot this week here in Atlanta, even when it hasn't been them talking. So we're going to have plenty to talk about on the podcast on Friday. Be sure to tune in. Sooners Illustrated right here on the YouTube channel or on the podcast feed, of course, as well. That's it for me for now. Signing off from Atlanta. and SEC Media Days. I'm Josh Callaway. We'll see you on Friday for the Sooners Illustrated podcast, recapping it all. The start of the season, just a little bit away, getting ever so much closer to the 2025 college football season.